really take care of ourselves. And I would love for you to consider taking care of yourself. So yeah. That's what we do in the Healing Place. So Healing Place family, I just wanted to remind you all to be seated in your power, to be kind as you discover yourself, and to be open to learning. And in the learning process, like, we gotta forgive and we have to apologize, and there's so many different things that are compacted in learning. Like, we are often not taught that learning also includes healing and forgiving and apologizing and upgrading and tearing down and building up. Like, all of these are components of learning. And so many of us don't take that into consideration. So as we are forced to become more aware of that, I would love for you all to consider being kind to yourselves as you learn. Because sometimes, you know, life can teach us hard. And the last thing that we really need is to be being mean to ourselves while we feel like life is already teaching us hard. That's why I'm so excited about our Healing Place transformational gathering. I really don't want to call it a retreat. There are so many retreats going on, and people are literally leaving high off the energy, and a week or so later they are right back to rolling in the fucking mud. And y'all know that that is not what we do. We go and we are submersed in the culture, in the atmosphere of personal spiritual development, and then we go to our prospective destinations and we continue to build upon the things that we've learned and metabolize and metastasize and process the lessons. And I mean, me personally, it's a year later and I'm still reaping the benefits from last year's retreat. And when I experience what we share in the Healing Place and I see, you know, different entities and what they're doing, it's just like, nah, we don't have one of them. You got to have another name. Because if you got a retreat and I got a retreat, but we ain't doing the same thing, I think I might need to come up with another name. So, within preparing for our transformational gathering, and we leave about that motherfucker transformed for real, I am just growing more and more excited about sharing this experience with my Healing Place family. What should we do about a friend who chooses men over friendship? Either consider accepting the fact that you will continue to be secondary to the friend, or release the friendship because it's a trigger for you to be put second. It feels like a disservice, and inevitably it may cause you to feel like you're not valued properly. So either you want to condition yourself to be second place, or you may be ready to release it. I can't answer that for you. My main question was right about hers. How do you sign up for the retreat? The link in our bio. Healing after a breakup, accepting the reality that it's over. And why? 9 times out of 10, in all honesty, we really don't want what doesn't want us. So if you two are not together, either 9 times out of 10, you decided you don't want it, or they decided they don't want you. So either way, it's in your best interest to consider not wanting it after it doesn't want you, because it will surely abuse you. So The best way to heal after a breakup, an emotional discontention of sorts, or disconnecting of sorts, or unattaching yourself, is for you to remember why the fuck y'all broke up. Why? What was going on? And when you deal with the reality of what was really happening, as opposed to the illusion that you created with yourself through fear of loss, you may be so contented with, you know what? That wasn't for me, and that's okay. So much so that they're not really all that bad, and I wish them well in life. And in my future dealings, I'm going to handle people better, starting with myself. And I'm grateful for what this taught me. Yeah, we're going to talk all about that in September. We are. We're going to talk about strongholds and soul ties and soulmates and all that stuff. We are. And I love you guys. And I am so excited about our retreat. How about healing after a toxic relationship? The same way that you come to peace with being broke up. Do you want the toxic relationship? Did you want it? Do you want it now? Because if you do want it, that's the part of yourself that is seeking an abuser. And that's something that has to be dealt with within yourself, that nobody else will be able to do for you. But in the event that you don't want it, you realize there's no reason for me to mourn over what I don't want. So it's just time for me to continue to progress in my life. I heal from toxicity. I heal from it by identifying the toxic traits that I possess, that other people were mirroring in my life, and then I address them within myself. And as I address them and I become focused on me and I manifest a greater version of myself, I heal the trauma that's connected to the reason why I would be mourning something that wasn't good for me. If you feel like you lost something that you know was not in your best interest, then there's a part of you that is desperately seeking an abuser. And that part is directly correlated to some level of deep trauma. And I would love for you to consider that. At least that's what I be doing. How do I help someone find themselves? You don't. Not if they didn't ask you. Not if they didn't ask you. If a person doesn't want your assistance with finding themselves, then you trying to help them find themselves will feel like so much force and so much aggression that they will resent you even if you help them. Even if you end up assisting them with something that they desperately need assistance with. If you do it in a way that they don't welcome because they never asked for it and or welcomed you into it and or accepted it after you offered it, they end up resenting you. That's why a lot of people resent lovers that made them better. I would love for you to consider that. Someone asked, who gets the most time in a day, the Ajna energy or Reagan? It really depends upon what's on the schedule. When we have a lot of sessions scheduled, sessions are open. You can schedule a private session through the link in the bio. If there's a day full of sessions, then of course the Ajna energy. If there's a day really spending time and investing time into my children, they prefer Reagan because they feel like Ajna is kind of weird. And it's just that all-knowing kind of feeling of it's odd to be in the presence of it. When you feel it, you'll know it. And my children, unless they are like running to my room because they've had some kind of nightmare or something, they would rather just know that it's readily available to them, but they don't necessarily have to have it. It's kind of like knowing that you have a Bentley parked in your garage and you got the keys to it and you can drive it anywhere at any time, but you still got a Honda that you like. So you mainly drive your Honda. But you know, if you ever get necessary, that you can pull that Bentley out. I think it's kind of like that. I just asked because I told the difference through social media. Oh, yeah, there is a difference. Why does my partner jokingly insult me? They're not playing. And they are seeking, they may be gaslighting you. They may be gaslighting you. That is often, I am so particular about how I use this word because it's oversaturated these days, and so many people are giving people clinical medical classifications that have no credentials to do so. But this I can say with a clear conscience. That is, those are narcissist traits. That's an incredibly narcissistic trait. And what it does is it chips away at your esteem. Oh, my phone is getting really hot. My phone is probably about to hang up. It chips away at your esteem of self to a degree that you will end up depending upon that other party to give you some level of verification or confirmation or certification that you once gave yourself, that they ate, that they literally consumed it by chipping away at your core in a very joking manner. Hey, Quay, I see you and I love you and them boys. I love y'all. So I would love for you to consider that. And I am not calling that person a narcissist. I have no jurisdiction to give anybody that classification through the internet like this. But this is what I can share with you with a clear conscience. Again, that is a very narcissistic trait. We all have narcissistic traits, though. We all possess them. Now, a person who is a narcissist is so different from an individual who possesses narcissistic traits. For example, I could kill someone. I carry a firearm with me at all times. I have another firearm in my house. I have shot. I have been shot at. I could and will, without a doubt, kill someone if necessary. That doesn't make me a killer, if that makes sense. So when you're dealing with narcissism, I would love for you to take that kind of approach to the thinking of it. And it will really help with those of us who immediately classify somebody as a narcissist the moment that they do something that we don't agree with. If that makes sense, family. Because I see so many people these days immediately classifying people as narcissists.